Use a mic, Oscar.
So use a mic.
With that little note, I will shout out, in case you aren't aware, we do have Yoda over in the corner, or Grogu, I'm not sure which, green, short, funny ears, collecting donations. Those donations we try to reimburse the church for the sake of them allowing us to use this space. They actually don't request the money of us, but we really feel like it's appropriate to compensate them for this wonderful resource they make available to us every single week since February something, which is a pretty long time, maybe not as long as it's felt like. Regardless, I'm Donovan. I'm going to be your MC tonight, so my dearest apologies in advance. Yoopers Unite, welcome, thanks for coming. Do we have any newcomers, first-timers, anyone, first time? That means we all need to do more work talking to people who don't know about this. That said, even regardless of there being no first-timers in, I would like to really pay a little bit of attention to a portion of the agenda that's always there and doesn't always get reviewed. But I always think it's a really good idea to review why we're here and what we're doing. We all know we can sit here and make all sorts of organizational charts about why we're here. I'm sure we're going through it all in our brains regularly, but we do have some words we've assembled that I think it's good to meditate on. So first off, we have who we are. We are a nonpartisan, nonprofit network dedicated to fostering connection, communication, and coordinated action across Michigan's Upper Peninsula and the whole state. Our mission is to link individuals and organizations, ensuring the timely flow of trustworthy information and facilitating collaborative responses to the current direction of the U.S. government. What is it that we do? Yoopers Unite mobilizes its members for action through a rapid and resilient communication network. We activate participation in peaceful demonstrations, legislative contact, and community engagement, amplifying our collective impact. So, in case we had forgotten. That said, first agenda item is to review ballot proposals. As breakout sessions come along, we will be doing any kind of interaction regarding ballot proposals back over there where Zeke is, and Paul is around, and there's all sorts of people. If you're not aware, we're doing ballot proposals for ranked choice voting in Michigan on all primaries. We're also signing up for Money Out of Politics Michigan, which is going to keep anyone who is either a regulated industry or receives over $250,000 in contracts from or grant funding from the state of Michigan from contributing to campaign finance in the state of Michigan. And then Invest in My Kids is trying to fill the hole that the Department of Education is quickly becoming by doing a tax surcharge of 5% above high income thresholds that will contribute directly to state education. If you want more information about that, see us in the back. If you really think you have 5 or 6 other people who might be interested in hearing about that or signing on for that, see us in the back. We'll get you a sheet, even if it's just the one. We could really use some microcirculators, getting a chance to just reach out to their friends and family. Let's see, we've got some reminders here. Marquette County Commission, District 1. Is there anyone who specifically would like to speak to this?
How many folks know that there's a
Use a mic, Oscar.
Okay, wait.
Turn on the mic, Oscar.
I turned off the transponder.
What are we paying you for?
Okay, I'll fix it. Why is, Jeez Louise.
Stalling for time.
Okay, try it now.
Hello.
Oh!
All right.
Boy, you got it now.
Who can tell me what county government does in Michigan? The most important function for county government is the judicial system. They are in charge of the circuit courts, the jail, the county sheriff. They are not directly in charge of our roads. County road commissions are somewhat separate from county commission. But the county also manages the health department, where you can get a vaccine. In fact, and I put that up on the Facebook, but there's vaccine clinics happening with the county health, through the county health department. And you can bring your insurance or not bring your insurance. There's a lot of options. It's a really important program. They also do support for new mothers, for seniors. There's a whole seniors program in county government. So why would someone want to be involved in county government? Because these are services to for all of our public health. They also do well water testing, and there's a whole environmental health department in the county. And they also do a lot of planning. So the things that happen on Sugarloaf are supported by our county planning. The park up at Big Bay and Lake Independence, that is a county facility. There's a lot happening in the parks in Gwynn that is being led by our county. So I know, as you said, counties, hard question because counties fly under the radar in Michigan. They have these very specific rules, and there's a lot that they don't do because townships do them or the cities do them, but this county seat is very, very important. And if you don't live, it's the district that is right in Marquette, right along the lake, and then it goes all the way up to Big Bay. And the district where I live is also probably going to have an opening. Certainly he's not going to run again. And that is South Marquette heading into Sands and Marquette Township, I believe. Yeah. Martha. So the question was, what kind of commitment are you making when you run for county commission? When you're serving. Thank you. When you serve it's meetings, so as I would joke as an elected official, the one thing you have to do is be sitting in a seat to vote for an hour and a half once a month, or twice a month. They meet twice a month. Really fundamentally, that's the only thing you have to do is show up and vote. But then you take on committees. So there's committees on the budget, there's committees on whichever area of interest you're in those different agencies I just mentioned, judicial, sheriff, the health department, things like that. You serve on those committees, and then you're answering constituent questions that they might have to help with services. So, we recommend you can start with just getting yourself on a volunteer committee at the county, and I'm sure there's open seats in all the different advisory commissions and panels that they have. But the Planning Commission, for example, has a lot of power and makes a lot of decisions about housing that we know is really, really important. So those are all things that I just want to say a little bit more about why these county seats are actually really, really important. And one more thing about the role of the county. As we face these public health cuts that are, and the health insurance cuts that are coming, and the loss of services in our rural hospitals, these counties do have some taxing authority and may or may not step up into some of these roles. So those are all, in terms of solving some of the problems that we're seeing coming out of state and federal government, county government can actually be a place that actually can really provide constructive help there. Yeah.
The other side, other seat that you mentioned, is that seat that
Yeah. It's seat 2. I think that's what the numbers are, but it's Steve hasn't told me this, but so I probably shouldn't say. But I would, or wherever you live, if you're interested in running, whichever part of Marquette County you might live in, it's important to have more voices and more experiences at that decision-making body. Yeah. There aren't any. There's an age, there's probably an age, and you probably, I think for this City of Marquette, I had to get 20 signatures to get on the ballot, but it doesn't cost, I don't think it costs anything. I'm trying to remember now. It might have cost me $50 to file, but then you had to get signatures, and you had to, and then that signatures are how you demonstrate that you can get on the ballot.
So there is timeline to file?
Yeah, so for this special seat, the person who's currently holding the seat is unfortunately very ill and has had to step down. And so you have to submit your application by the 13th, which would be 6 days from now. And you have to do it by 4 o'clock. And it's highly recommended that you call the county commissioners and introduce yourself in order, because they're going to be making the decision. This is not an election. This is, they get to decide. The other county commissioners are going to decide who that person is. If you run, because it's in the middle of his term, and they need a quorum. Yeah. Yeah, so the reason to appoint, she was saying, is that elections cost money, and the county would have to run a full election, and so instead they're going to have the appointment process. So, go democracy.
So if you're interested, or if you know someone who would be good, we've got 6 days to figure that out. In other news, t-shirts are still available for purchase. There's 2 free ones still on the back table over there, the pay it forward items. There's also plenty of information about t-shirts over there. If you have any questions, please let us know. We also have sweatshirts, apparently gray and blue. Though I haven't seen any yet. They'll show up one of these days. The weather's calling for it. In other news, we need 2 more people to volunteer for snacks to bring for next week. Okay, so that's going to be.
No, they can come see me,
They can come see Paula,
and I'll let you know.
and she'll let Tina know. Really got to make sure to repeat this for the people on YouTube. So we'll take care of that. And before we jump into our reports from the past week's events, I understand we have a special guest here tonight that will be speaking with us. She is not here. She is with us in spirit. So we'll keep you on the ledger about that one. So reports from this past week's events. Rush Hour Resistance, including signs of fascism in Negaunee. Kind of touched on that real quick, but is there anything Martha or anyone else who is present for that would like to share with us? Or Brad? Here we go. Or Judy? Brad, Judy? Judy, Brad? Brad will.
Hi, everybody. We had a good turnout for the Signs of Fascism merger with the pop-up, with 35 people total in Negaunee today, from 4:30 to 6. So, and there is going to be a Signs of Fascism demonstration this coming Saturday. That meeting at 11:15, and we need some people. So we could use some more people for that. And I'll be having a breakout table here. And that Saturday we'll be actually meeting behind Border Grill and walking over the Iron Ore Heritage Trail down to Wendy's, where we will start walking up Highway 4128 West to the first crossing, where we can cross over and then walk back. It'll be about a 2-mile walk. So we're looking for people to be up for that. And anyway, yeah, that's it. And I'll be able to answer questions and hopefully take more names at this breakout table. 11:15 we'll be meeting this coming Saturday.
Thank you, Brad. Food pantry update. We've been donating more food. I understand we've done over 3,000 pounds at this point in time, food and hygiene goods. Please, we're going to continue that every single week. We rotate what pantry we're helping to support. So anything you can bring along. We will also, as I understand, on the 18th at our No Kings, which you might have heard about, we will be making collections there as well. So once again, if you know anyone else who isn't sitting here tonight who's going to join us, feel free to let them know that that is available, and we'd appreciate their support. I've got a little ad hoc item on here that Paula is not going to talk about because she needs to find out more. Well, I have a personal ad hoc item. We got some flag stickers here. If anyone is interested in throwing some sand in a few gears in our local border patrol, you want to just have a chance to flag someone down for a nice hour-long chat about how their summer's been, where they're from, what's going on. Just get to know your local authorities a little better. Here's a way to just let them know you're thinking of them, as well as a way to show support for those people that are being targeted by these individuals. So this sheet was shared with me. I think there's a couple more running around. I'll throw some of them on the table. Feel free to grab them and throw them on the back of your car, front of your car, wherever you feel is appropriate. There's ad hoc. As time allows, connected organizations. Do we have an update from LSIR or LSRI? What's the IR? Oh, okay. We call it an artifact. It will fall off eventually, or we'll just, hail it in the museum for all times. Did we make it?
Thank you. Yes, we did. Okay. Flyers have been printed as of today. They're beautiful. So when we have the breakout tables, please see me and let me know if you would distribute flyers, and we'll get an estimation of how many you're taking and where you're going to post them. So nice and eye-catching. And this is thanks to Sophie, who, she used one of the examples by No Kings, National No Kings, and made it our own. Still talking about No Kings, we need probably 5 to 7 more volunteers to be on the crowd control team. Back Labor Day weekend, I was calling those people movers. So whether you want to be called a people mover or somebody for crowd control, also come and see us at the planning table when we do breakouts. I think it's Jean Champagne again who's organizing the parking team. And we had 10 volunteers for that event. That's where we anticipated being ready to park maybe 800 cars. And we came up with maybe not even a third of that number of cars. So we were over-prepared, but we want to again be over-prepared. And that's what I've got. So if you can help with any of those activities, please come on to that breakout table. Anybody have any questions about No Kings? This flyer will be distributed in every way possible on social media and LSRI and Yoopers Unite, and just keep sharing and sharing and sharing. Jen's got a question.
How many folks are registered?
Oh, good question. A few more than last time. It's helpful if you do go to either LSRI or just the No Kings, nokings.org. It's helpful for us to get a count. And I'm thinking, now I'm looking at Paul, I'm thinking it's helpful also for National Indivisible to get an account of, at least they're counting how many sites, how many communities are hosting No Kings events. Has anyone seen that number lately?
2,200.
2,200. So, and Faith was telling me today about the number being held around the UP on the 18th. That's 10. It's probably 10 and growing. It'll keep coming up to the algorithm does that, makes it more prominent on Facebook. So please register. It's easy to do. Thank you.
Can I just add one thing?
No.
You were talked about national, indivisible. How many folks watch or listen to the Thursday at 3 p.m. or the Friday 3 p.m. What's the plan? Yeah, just a few. Oh, Sarah is here. Hi. Those calls are so valuable and interesting, and what they are saying right now, the leadership, national leadership, is that the national Democrats are holding the line. And that is because, and they said this very clearly this week, because we are organizing and standing up and showing up, and that is making the Democrats in Washington hold the line on this shutdown. Each one of you in this room are part of that. And so thank you. And be proud. Be proud of how we are holding the line. It's hard. People are dealing with, the workers are dealing with so much uncertainty, and are things going to happen or not going to happen? And but we are going to, because the shutdown is about not giving in to authoritarianism and maintaining our health care and maintaining these essential services, and we have to speak up about that. But it is working, and they caved in March, and we showed up in April, and we're going to show up again at No Kings. That's what No Kings is about. It's about showing up and saying that, no, we demand better from our elected officials, and we are going to hold you accountable. So that's why we're going to be there on the 18th. We're going to have people bring, if you're not sure what to put on a sign, or you want to have a sign-making party, let's have a sign-making party. I think those are great ways of getting people engaged. People can do the stop by, come make a sign, have the materials. That's a fun way of making that happen. I can't commit because, as you know, I still am going back and forth, and the shutdown, we don't know where the mail is for my father-in-law's taxes right now. Like, there are things that we have to take care of. So, but let's can we get a group together, a set of folks who could do a sign making party at some point in Negaunee or Spring or Marquette. Let's see if we can make that happen. Let's spend about $40-50, put the money in to have some materials and make that happen, so that we can have a great event and continue to inspire people and show them that we can do better. Thanks.
Thank you, Jen. We've got public comment and or question.
The quick comment is whoever ends up hosting the sign making party, when Robin left, she gave me all of her fine tip Sharpies, so I have like 30 of those that I will give to whoever's hosting to use for that. So you guys can just focus on spending that money on the poster board so we can make more posters. And then my question is, we were talking about watching the de-escalating video together, and if we're still doing that, I think we gotta do it next week before the No Kings, because part of the idea with that is just in case we don't get enough people movers or crowd control. Even if other people show up, we should all be trying to keep things calm and non-violent and non-aggressive. So I don't know who to talk to about that, but if you're there, I'll be here.
We will make sure that's on the agenda.
Thank you.
That's been discussed and I think thumbs up across the board before, so I think next week would be perfectly reasonable for that. Oscar, we got over here with Chris, please.
Noticed at the first No Kings, there were a lot of signs that had dirty words on them. I think that's provocative and unnecessary. I would really suggest we focus on the issues and leave the dirty words off. I think you get more attention when you focus on the issues instead of making people shrink away because it's just those crazy with all their dirty language. I mean, there's a time and a place, but that F word is just too prominent. Let's knock it off.
All of these notes on sign making, is there a person who might be willing to raise their hand just to start the conversation about doing a sign making party that we could do a breakout table for? Judy's got it over there. Fantastic. Thank you. There was something else, but we're moving past it until my brain recovers. We the People, Ruby Zeke Donovan. Hello, I'm Ruby Zeke Donovan. I don't think I have anything more to update than I did last week. We haven't had another meeting yet, but as you know, we're working to try and improve transit in the county. If that's something that interests you and you'd like to be a part of, please come join us. We're going to try and do some more workshops coming up to really engage people with just learning about mutual aid and maybe building some new skills and just working to build our community, our base, so that going forward we'll have a larger commission that can actually step forward and make those differences. More to come. Our next meeting will be the 4th Wednesday of the month, which I don't have a calendar on me right now. That's at 6 p.m. If you need the link to go ahead and get involved, please let me know. We'll get you figured out. Tomorrow's Voices of NMU. Do we have anyone that can update us on what is going on there? The last I heard, we've got the meeting room, I think is the Science Building, 2902, I want to say. Monday evenings at 6 p.m. is when the campus group is meeting.
They prefer that we announce it or that we just don't show up, so they have a big group.
Okay, they would really like us to communicate in advance if we're planning to show up. I know we've got some people that are looking to share some information, but hopefully we can see more cross-pollination as the semester warms up. Well, continues forward. Ballot proposal updates. Deb's got something to share with us. Come on up, Deb.
Okay, we're looking forward to October 18th as a place to gather tons and tons of signatures, but what that means is that some people will not be protesting and will be out there collecting signatures. We need to do some planning at a table back there, but I want to ask the group right now, it would be nice if we could have one of those pop-up tents, so if anybody has a pop-up tent that we could borrow, and potentially, you know those, I think they're called feather flags. We could use a feather flag. We can put the information on it ourselves. We don't need your flag. We can make a flag. So we will be planning over there, and of course volunteers are needed. One of the things I wanted to tell you about is the big information. We run 3 petitions each week, here that are good. There are 3 petitions that are bad. 2 of those petitions are really gaining a foothold downstate. I haven't seen them here, and we're going to ask that people keep their eyes open for the people who are representing citizens for voting. This is really moving forward downstate, and it has, in a couple of cases, turned aggressive, not violent, aggressive. So we are looking for those people. Those are paid petitioners. Zeke, do you want to add more about ranked choice voting?
Yeah, we'll have material signs for a table there. Definitely need more volunteers, like Deb said. We will be having events showing up on the website, so if you're looking for people to sign the petition, you can check the rankmyvote.org site. There will be events in the UP going probably till the end of the year at this point. We'll be keeping up with adding those in. And then for anyone who has volunteered that has not spoken with me yet or gotten training, please speak with me before the end of the meeting. I would appreciate it.
We have comments.
For those petitions that
we're calling the bad petitions,
Yeah.
what kind of ballot language or what kind of things are they looking at on those petitions so that we are aware of what to look for?
There are 2 petitions that say citizens voting. There's one that's called Axe My Tax. Easy, easy peasy. Anything that says citizens voting, let us know.
Just not ranked voting.
Okay, now there's one more thing. Okay, so, and this is not about the ballot, but it's related to the ballot. So the SAVE Act gave birth to one of those petitions about citizens voting. Now they have sent a petition to the Election Assistance Commission. The Election Assistance Commission was started in 2002 to help individual states implement elections. Elections are some of the most costly things that any state does, and in Michigan it's particularly expensive. Each state has a different approach to running their elections. Colorado has all mail-in voting. We have a town the size of Ralph has its own little group of election people. So the Election Assistance Commission has taken up essentially the SAVE Act. And even though there's a government shutdown right now, they are pushing forward with this. This commission is only 4 people, and they bear weight. They are asking for public comment, and they have limited the public comment to October 20th. Somehow, this citizens voting petition has made it this far, and the MAGA group has had word beforehand. Of the 15,000 comments that were put in for open comment, most of them are in support of this petition. The petition requires people to present proof of citizenship in order to register to vote. And what we know that does is it's a voter disenfranchisement issue. It disenfranchises women and people of color. You need to show a passport, and most of us don't have that. More than half of the people in the United States do not have a passport, and it costs around $100, between $75 and $100 to get a passport.
160, I got one a while ago.
Now you know, it's not cheap. So, and if you're a college student or if you're a woman, there are voter suppression issues here. We know that it will disenfranchise a large segment of voters, and we also know that only 15 non-citizens tried to vote, and those people thought they could vote. They all but one. 14 of those 15 people thought that they were eligible to vote. This is a non-issue. Okay, it's a voter suppression bill. So we're asking for public comment. We're asking for you to go to the Election Assistance Commission website, look up the petition, and let me get you the name of the petition, and just leave a comment that you don't support it. It's very important. What is it called? Oh, hang on. Too many buttons. I will let you know for sure the exact name of the petition, but it does involve citizens voting. Okay, so they're all over the place.
And just real quick, all of these opportunities are part of protest. If we're going out there and we're along the 41 corridor holding signs, that's a great protest. But involving ourselves in the system to fight these kinds of attacks on our rights to freedom and democracy is a part of the protest too. It may be more exciting or glamorous to hold the sign, but we know we're all out there because we realize how dangerous all of this is. So please, if you are able to help us circulate petitions on that day in particular, on any other day, that is part of the actions that we represent doing here. If you are eligible or available and willing to help make sure that we can corral the crowd to keep things going safe. That is part of the protest. It's not a pleasant social part of the protest, but it's part of making sure that we can all stand up together. Paula's got something for us. This time.
Actually, that's what I was going to talk about, and I wasn't quite sure of everything. Here is, so it's at regulations.gov. And it is called Petition of America First Legal Foundation for Rulemaking. Yeah. I just read about this today. If any of you follow Joyce Vance White, her Substack, she breaks down legalese. If you don't, her and Heather Cox Richardson are my go-tos. She just wrote about this. She has a whole Substack that describes what they're doing. There are 4 people on there. 2 are Obama and 2 are Trump appointees. Sure. Yep. Regulations.gov, and then Petition of America First Legal Foundation for Rulemaking. And on here it says it was posted August 21st. Yes. Currently there are 15.75 thousand comments. Comment period ends October 20th at 11:59 Pacific time. I will also, I can send the link.
Put it in state government news.
Oh, is that what it, no, is it? I can put it in the Discord, but I was also gonna say I'll ask Zeke or Danielle to email it out on the email. If we can do that too. Yeah, and maybe we'll send the link to Joyce's column that describes it, and she links to some other columns that she's written, Substacks that she's written that are explaining the SAVE Act a little bit more. And my big issue is I have elderly parents that are probably going to have to move, and they can't in person register if they're moving to a different facility. And my mother is married or divorced, but still has her married name. All right, so we'll now move to the reproductive health resources. It is an organization, not a clinic. I want to clarify that. And I asked, Jen Ray has not been able to attend to talk about it because she has school board meetings every Tuesday here in Marquette. But I reached out to them. And one of the things is to clarify again, it is an organization. It is not a physical place. It's not like replacing Planned Parenthood building, right? So their mission statement is Reproductive Health Resources is a community-based organization located in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, working to remove financial barriers to safe, dignified, affordable reproductive health care. So they fund and support reproductive health care services through local clinical partners in the UP. They ensure medication abortion care on a sliding fee scale for individuals who cannot afford full costs. And they provide direct financial support so individuals can access safe and prompt clinical care. They have a wonderful website that I have a printout of what that is. On there, they have a list of local providers that you can go to, more information. If you want to know more, I think I updated your agenda, but I'm not sure. Is there some under upcoming one-time events? Thursday, October 16th, is that listed on your agenda yet? Or just on my new and updated one?
Not yet.
Okay, so Thursday, October 16th, they are having an open house. Remember, they are not a physical space though. So Marquette Medical Urgent Care on West Washington Street is hosting them. And starting at 7 o'clock, they will give some information, a short talk about who they are and what their mission is. So again, October 16th, 7 o'clock, Marquette Medical Urgent Care. And if you get the notes from our meetings, it'll be on the notes, because I'll update that. Oh, sorry. One more thing, I want to share a personal story that gave me hope yesterday. I texted a couple that are friends of ours, and I know they are Trump voters and pretty staunch. And I said, hey, are you going to be home tonight? Can I step over? And they said, sure. So I popped in and I said, so I'm here to talk about a couple ballot proposals that I'm circulating. And we had a great conversation. I explained them, and they both went, those are all common sense. Of course I'm going to sign. Yeah. And then we talked a little bit more about politics. So I talked a little bit about room at the inn and those kind of things. So I'm using the ballot petitions also to reach other people. I'm not one that stands I did stand at Beer Fest, but otherwise I don't stand. Like I don't go to the farmer's market, I don't just pick a spot to stand. But I am reaching out to all of my friends and family, regardless of who they are, to talk about those. And I also am telling my friends and family, once they sign, to please ask their friends and family if they know, like, just ask, do you know that there are ballot proposals out there? Because some people that I know that are so politically active had no idea. Like, if you know Greg Sepinen, he had no idea until I brought the petitions to him 2 weeks ago. Yeah, to MEA retired. He had none. None of the people at MEA retired had any idea. I also always say, these are the only three. Once you're done with these, you don't have to sign anymore. Because I tell them what the other three do. So yes, you can get those other people to sign. And it provides a wonderful one-on-one conversation with some people that maybe you normally wouldn't talk to. Now I'm done.
Did I hear that our special guest had joined us? Sarah Green, hi, welcome. I don't know if you're aware, but we've heard your name a lot around here. If you all don't remember, yeah, let's round of applause, sure. Sarah's joining us from up north, even of here, and you may have recognized her name from kind of headlining the resolutions with, I believe it was Lance, to decry executive overreach in our country. So if you'd like to step up to the mic, we'd be happy to hear what you have to share with us tonight.
But I just want some of the details.
Well, maybe both.
But I have some notes anyway.
Hi, it's great to be here, and I'm sorry I was late, but my official calendar says that this meeting is at 7:30, so I will fix that. And also I had to get my car, find the charger thing for my car. So I'm Sarah Green, I live in Calumet Township, and like most of the people in this room, I think I became furious and just outraged in February, if not before January. And I decided to do something, and so I rallied a bunch of people. We had a spontaneous demonstration, I can't remember what date that was, in Houghton. And shortly thereafter, this group formed, and QAnon Indivisible formed, and I started sending out emails, and then I discovered that you can't send out emails to a big list of BCCs, you get in trouble. So I turned it into a newsletter, which is not on Substack, but I do have a QR code if you're not on my newsletter and you want to join it. It's called Craig, because I had to have a name like instantly, which stands for Citizens Rally for Accountable Government. And I send out an email, I don't know, once a week or so, but I know none of you get enough emails. But I'm trying to focus on local impacts, and I'm really trying to push people to attend meetings of their local officials, elected officials. I just came actually from Marquette County. They're kind of a friendly group, but I go to Calumet Township, I go to Houghton County, less friendly. Coming up in Hancock next week, they're voting on these flock spy cameras, whether they want to have that, so we rally a bunch of people to come and oppose that. They track license plates, and they're supposed to be for crime fighting, but surprise, the data is being sucked into places like ICE and other places. So we're gonna go and oppose that. But basically, I'm really pushing people to go and just stand up and make public comments, because your elected officials are the ground level of democracy. They are supposed to represent you. And they, in some of these townships in the UP, they think they've never met a Democrat. They think, or a progressive, they think everybody thinks like them. But you have 3 minutes, according to Michigan open meeting law, you can go, and they have to listen to you for 3 minutes. So I'm really pushing people to do that. And just go and make public statements. But I came today because I just kind of want to meet people, because I know that there's indivisible groups, and you're a pretty active one around the UP, and there's other groups. There's the Michigan Tech, we've got QAnon against the oligarchy, Cato. We've got a WAVE group that's kind of a Facebook group. We've got several groups. And I just want to be sure that we're all communicating and that we're on the same page, and that we can coordinate with things like the No Kings March. And further, I'm hoping that we can get groups who are interested in across our congressional district and just make a lot of noise about Bergman. Because that guy, I can't even say his name without smoke coming out of my ears. I'm so angry at him. And I just like, yeah, you can call his office and all that, but there's just no point. I just want to get rid of him, or at least make him uncomfortable. So if anybody's interested in that program, I think I've got a few people here and there, including some downstate, who are in the 1st Congressional District, who are interested in doing something, and we don't know what to do yet, because billboards are expensive, but we're looking. So on October 18th, we are having No Kings, of course, at Houghton. We're having a rally, and we're also having a motor rally for people who can't stand and sit for a long time, and that has been kind of fun. So motor rally is they decorate their cars. So Bill Fink has got some kind of crayons that you can write on your cars, and flags you can stick on your cars, and then they kind of drive in a loop past the rally and through town and wherever they want to drive. They don't really have a big organization, but they're kind of the counter to the opposite people who have showed up at some of our rallies with their smoke blowing and things. They did not show up the last couple of times, but they have in the past. So yeah, we don't get a lot, but maybe 5 or 6 people who really just can't get outside, especially in late October. And I am starting a push to try to recruit people to these rallies, sort of beyond the usual suspects, because we all know each other. We all, well, I don't know you yet, but see the same people at all these meetings. And I think we need to reach out and grow this. And so I don't exactly know how to do that, but we need people who are just like mad that the price of eggs haven't gone down, and figure out ways to get them, to help them show up and be courageous enough to say, wait a minute, something is not right here, without being labeled a radical communist. I don't know how to do that, but I think that's kind of on the agenda for the next rally and maybe the next 6 months or a year. So I'm happy to answer questions about things going on at Houghton. If you want, we have our local Indivisible is a much smaller group, but they're really intense and fierce and focused. Yeah.
Are you engaging with the university?
A little bit. I go to the Board of Trustees meetings every time, and I just say, you guys are just cowards. Get your act together. Stop folding to bullies. You're just, because those are public meetings too. They have a public comment session, and you can go, and they don't respond, of course, but a lot of these things, when your public officials don't respond either, but a lot of times people in the audience hear you and come up afterwards and say yes. There is a group of faculty at Michigan Tech who are organizing, trying to organize quietly, but they did have a Know Your Rights session at Tech, and they're trying to work both with and against the university, which has really not stepped up to protect international students, which whom we have many.
Has probably the most diverse population in the entire UP.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that there isn't more action coming from the university.
Yeah, cowards. They're cowards. And the students are afraid, but there's a core of allies who are trying to figure things out. And we have seen ice trucks in the Houghton area. There've been like 2 or 3 reports. We don't think anything has happened, but the university is very quiet about what's happening. So, and there's also a lot of international faculty with green cards at Michigan Tech and probably here at Northern as well. And they're laying low, I think. Yeah.
What do you feel about the hospital and healthcare situation?
Well, we know that that Okanagan Hospital, as you know, is closed, and that Aspirus in Ironwood is stopping labor and delivery services. They said they're transitioning to not having those. And next week, actually, there's also a town hall meeting organized by Cato, I think, which is part of Michigan United. So there's an umbrella organization. Michigan United is having a town hall on the Michigan proposal for MyCare, which is Michigan Universal Health Care in Michigan, which of course, Medicare for all.
We're having it here.
Yeah.
The day before.
Okay, yeah.
Then she's coming up here.
Yep, yeah. So, and I'm all for that. And it's another thing where I think there's an opportunity to bring in people who are not the usual suspects, because all of your neighbors are worried about healthcare. And if you can get them to these town halls and these information sessions, it's inch by inch to get people to think outside their box. Some people never will, but some people are amenable to thinking about a different way. Yeah.
There are a fair number of doctors within the system that are not citizens as well, or have come from other countries to come to this practice.
Yeah.
I don't know numbers or whatever, but I've worked with many, so.
Yeah. And we tried at the Labor Day rally, we tried to get like the nurses union, because there's active nurses unions around here. We couldn't get anybody from the union, but we did get a nurse with a really powerful story about her experience. She's retired, but dealing with unions because of Labor Day issue. But, again, I don't know if there's a way to get those doctors to step out, because if you're on a green card, you're kind of vulnerable right now. So, but I mean, the hospitals themselves should be standing up, and they're not. They're cowards too. They're cowards, and they're looking at profits. So, yeah. So it's great to see you all here. And I went to the Degani signs of fascism today, which was really fun. So, yeah. All right. And I have my QR code if you're not on my list.
That's the go-to place for what's the impact of the UP. Nobody else is compiling that information. Sarah's doing that work in.
So if you want to know what the impact is, I'm sorry, Sarah, I just blasted her. If you want to know what the impact of all these cuts and chaos are on the Upper Peninsula, Sarah has been doing most of the work to pull that together to see really what's happening in our 15 counties. So I really recommend her newsletter. It's really, really terrific.
And
It's going to go in the email too.
okay, and please send me stuff that you're seeing too, because I'm just, I'm reading the news like everybody else and Substack and hearing rumors and things. And if you have any kind of documentation or information or rumors even, just send them to me.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for what you're inspiring us to do in our communities, and also for trying to fight against Michigan Tech. I know I'm in the minimum here, but alma mater. But that being said, I saw a raise of hands last week for how many of you had attended NMU. Have we been going to the Board of Trustees? We've been putting them in their darn place. Maybe it's about time to put that on the list as well. They are hiring a new president. They're interviewing right now, apparently, to hire the new president. 4 candidates. So go to those meetings. Tell them how you feel. A lot of you were probably here last week and not only raised your hands to say that you're NMU former students, but you also heard all of the horrible things going on right now for the Queers and Allies groups, for the Latinx union community, and all of that. I was more depressed to hear about the Queers and Allies than I have been to read the news the last several weeks, because that's right here in hometown, which it all is. Anyways, that said, it's about time, unless anyone has any last notes to share that need to be with the broader community, to go ahead and do our breakouts. So we're going to have a petitions table back over here as per the usual. Whoop. Can we get you a microphone real quick? Make sure the people online can hear this too. One last share before we get to our breakouts.
Yeah, I just found this out today amongst my doom scrolling that the state and local authorities have the authority to arrest federal ICE agents because what they're doing is illegal. And there's a short stack, 8 copies of the article I found online today. Yeah, if I don't know what exactly is going on, there was the one local ICE thing I heard about here. So I don't know how much ICE has come into Michigan, but I recommend that we contact this governor and even all the way down to local authorities and just keep contacting and saying, you're our reps, you're in charge, why aren't you arresting these ICE agents for doing this illegal? They're kidnapping it's against state law. Everything they're doing is against the law. It's illegal. And we need to push our state and more local reps to enforce our state laws against ICE because it's coming down to the wire here.
Thank you for sharing that, and I will say that the Mexican flags I was talking about earlier, you know, as far as a way to kind of throw sand in the gears, that was kind of the initial intention of the conversation around this, is we need people keeping their eyes open to let us know when they see things. I had a note on the Discord the other day from Rory back over there, telling me about someone getting pulled over that she said, I think I screwed up your name, didn't I? Tori. Tori with a T, about someone being pulled over, and she pulled over to observe. And remember, that's well within our rights. That fortunately wasn't Border Patrol, still may well have been targeted harassment, but us being able to pinpoint when and where we see ICE and Border Patrol is something worth reporting, because if people disappear and we hear about it 2 weeks later, it's already too late. We need to make sure we're on top of it, because it is absolutely extrajudicial, and that is the point. Cruelty is the point. Illegal actions are the point. Breakout tables. So we've got petitions going on over there by the tall guy. We've got signs of fascism discussion over here with Brad. Judy's going to do some sign making discussions about No Kings and other discussions about No Kings if you're able to volunteer to be a people mover, all of those things. Do we have any other breakouts that we had established? Paula had her hand up for something at one point, but I can't remember what. If you remember what, go see her. She's doing snacks. That's important for next week. And yeah, everyone, please, again, everything you hear tonight, try and pass it forward. Talk to 5 other people you know that aren't in the loop on what all is going on, that can't bear to read the news. Let them know what's going on and what people like us are doing to try and counteract it, because that's the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.